Is that the biggest fight for you, do you think? And again, I know, I almost don't like asking these questions because I know you got a big fight in front of you, but is that the biggest fight that they could
I
make for
think
you? Is
yeah,
that?
for the like, it's gonna be like big like for MMA community, it's gonna be big fights, you know.
Mhm.
And people want this fight, and if UFC want this fight, and we can do this.
Islam Makhachev has finally spoken openly about a potential clash with Ilia Topuria, and it might just become one of the biggest fights in UFC history. In a recent interview, Islam confirmed that he's ready to face Topuria and that both fighters are interested. He said, "People want this fight. If the UFC wants this fight, we can do it. I know he wants to fight in the White House, and I also want to be there."
Questions about Ilia are not going to go away until either I think one of you loses or you fight. You know, they're just never going to go away. I haven't talked to you since he beat Charles Oliveira. What did you think? What did you think of that lightweight title fight?
Yeah, he's good. I saw the fight. He's good, you know. And the guy Charles Oliveira, he going to finish always, you know. Or you finish him, or he finish you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's why this guy is so dangerous, but it's so good fight. And now I don't know who is gonna be next for Ilia. And if we talk about our fights, I have good fights now, and I know he's gonna fight soon, and we'll see what's gonna be happening. You know, he want to fight in White House, and I also want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Islam believes this matchup would be huge for the MMA community and fans across the world. He even called it the biggest fight the UFC could possibly make right now.
It's gonna be like big like for MMA community. It's gonna be big fights, you know? And people want this fight, and if UFC want this fight, and we can do this.
Do you think the UFC wants this fight? Because I get the sense that they kind of don't. What do
I
you
don't
think?
know. I know UFC want to do like some big fight in White House. Which fight is gonna be bigger than this?
Yeah. He's talking about you win. He wants to go up to 170. I imagine that's probably where you would want the fight, because you don't want to go back to 155, right? You don't want to have to be sitting there and cutting weight again, right? So you're on board with this idea of 170?
Yeah, if you come, it's gonna be better for me, you know.
But there's a catch, the weight class. Makhachev admitted that cutting back down to 155 pounds would be extremely hard. He said if the fight happens at lightweight, Dana White would need to pay him extra. Instead, he prefers fighting at 170 pounds, welterweight, saying it's healthier and makes more sense for both sides.
Talking about you win. He wants to go up to 170. I imagine that's probably where you would want the fight, because you don't want to go back to 155, right? You don't want to have to be sitting there and cutting weight again, right? So you're on board with this idea of 170?
Yeah, if you come, it's gonna be better for me, you know. If I have to cut 155, then it's gonna be hard, and then I might have to pay for this.
Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria, the undefeated and current featherweight champion, has named Islam as his dream opponent. Topuria said, "This would be one of the biggest fights in UFC history. No one has ever fought for belts in 3 divisions before. Islam has already proven himself, and our fight would be massive for the fans and for the UFC."
This was meant to be Islam, that was the big talk, but he moved up to welterweight. Do you believe he moved up to welterweight to avoid you, or because he has his own goals?
Because he has his own goals. This is what I think.
Do you still think that's a fight that should happen? You guys are both forging legacies in different weight divisions. Do you think that's a massive fight that should happen?
We'll see how he does in the welterweight division. If he wins the title, I win the title in the lightweight division. Maybe I move up or he comes down to the lightweight division, and we have the fight that everyone wants to see.
Both champions are known for their dominance. Islam's wrestling and submission game versus Ilia's explosive striking and confidence. Fans believe this fight could finally settle the pound-for-pound debate once and for all. Beyond the hype, Islam also took a moment to honor his late coach Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, saying that everything their team has achieved is because of his legacy. He added that Khabib Nurmagomedov remains a mentor and brother, not a rival, and that comparisons between them are meaningless because their goal is the same: to build new champions.
That stance. Cut. Degree na No, Ligle na spin.
Elsewhere, names like Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje, and Arman Tsarukyan are being discussed for Topuria's next fight, but none come close to the scale of a showdown with Islam Makhachev. Even Chael Sonnen and other analysts have called it the fight fans truly want to see.
Islam returning to 155 is a real stretch for me. I think that Islam is going to be a lot like Ilia, which is, hey, this is great. Thank goodness I got here. Most unpleasant experience that Islam has had in the sport is just beating the scale at 155. I'm very confident in telling you guys, if Islam has success at 170 and becomes the champion, that whatever dreams you have of Islam versus Ilia haven't gotten closer, they got further apart. If you have a dream of seeing Islam versus Ilia, it's very unlikely, but the best way to get there would be if Islam was to lose at 170.
Overall, the consensus among experts is clear. Islam Makhachev's striking has evolved from a secondary skill into a key weapon in his arsenal. This transformation not only makes him more versatile, but also significantly increases the challenge for any opponent stepping into the octagon with him. As Islam continues to refine both his grappling and striking, he stands poised to remain one of the most dominant and well-rounded fighters in the UFC. This fight could change the UFC forever. Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria is the clash fans have been dreaming of. With wrestling versus striking, Russia versus Spain, and dominance on both sides, it's more than a fight. It's history in the making. Stay tuned for updates, and don't forget to subscribe to Box IQ for all the latest MMA news and breakdowns.